Whilst I love the Super Nintendo, I've never been the biggest fan of its predecessor, the Nintendo NES. I found the console itself rather clunky and the games a bit at best. That said, I was intrigued at what some of those games might look like with a 3D voxelized look. With an emulator that turns flat 2D NES games into 3D voxel dioramas in real time, whilst keeping the classic gameplay intact and rebuilding those pixels into 3D blocks with moving backgrounds. This emulator recently came out of early access and there's now a fully paid up version. It's available for Windows, Linux, and there's a VR version available as well. That said, let's take a look at 3D Sen. Perhaps the best way to envisage 3D Sen is akin to a 3D pop-up book. The emulator takes flat 8-bit sprites and assigns a 3D profile to them. The pixels are stretched into 3D cubes called voxels. The backgrounds gain layering and the characters have a physical thickness. You can zoom, rotate and tilt the camera on supported games to your liking. The emulator does not support all games in the NES library, although over 100 games are currently supported, with more being added all the time. Loading any game that currently is not supported will result in simply playing the game in the standard 2D mode. Your choice of camera view will definitely be defined by the game you're currently playing. For example, on Gallagher, depicted here, a vertical camera swing was all that was required to achieve a nice 3D look that was both playable and yet appears upgraded. For most side-scrolling shooters and platform games, such as Ghosts and Goblins depicted here, I found the best camera view was in swinging the camera behind the player. This enables you to see what's coming up and enables you to react to it in time. For those hardcore gaming types who fancy an additional challenge, try swinging the camera in front of the player instead, where your reaction times and judgment will be further tested. I can foresee some serious NES gamers actually attempting to play some of these games inside out and back to front. It also definitely helps that the currently supported NES library includes lots of arcade ports within it. There's no denying that given the right game and circumstance, this emulator can be very impressive. Games like Nemesis aka Gradius, depicted here, are definitely an upgrade with their 3D background look and play as well as ever. Tested the Windows version of this emulator, though both a Linux and VR variant are available. Although keyboard is supported, the emulator is definitely best played with a joypad, which offers a better game experience with complete control of movement and perhaps more importantly, the swinging around of the camera whilst playing your game. I did find the ROM selection menu a bit clunky and the requirements of a mouse to select games and set up their location directories whilst the actual games themselves are best played with a joypad was a bit ridiculous. For me, however, this represents a good starting point. If this gets a Super Nintendo iteration at any point in the future, I think I, along with most, might be all over it. In the meantime, there's something novel about playing Tetris upside down, or, as depicted here, inside out. Those who have a soft spot for some classic NES games may actually get some mileage from this. It's not particularly expensive if you look around and is available currently for sub £7 UK in the usual places. New titles will probably be added in the future and development continues. What's your opinion of the 3D Sen emulator? Cool or gimmick? Relevant or not required? And who like me would be hoping for a SNES equivalent? Post your comments on the video, I read them all. And if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more content. as it gives me the motivation to create more. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.